Let's create the threshold effect together here in Photoshop so you can apply it onto your graphics, your designs, or any of your photos that you want to add a bit more of a retro look to. So the first step in this process is super important, and that is creating a smart object. So with our image opened in Photoshop, I'll right click on that layer and go to Convert to Smart Object. Now we'll access our Camera Raw filter because our first proper step is adding noise onto our image. So going up to Filter and down here to Camera Raw filter, while our Smart Object layer is selected, this will open up the Camera Raw workspace. Inside of this workspace, click on the Edit option and then go to the Effects panel. Going to the Grain slider, we can just increase this basically to 100, and it's going to add a little bit of grain into the photo as we see here. Now, for some of you, you might be wondering, why are we adding grain? This is terrible. But for this effect, it makes a really nice difference in the final result. You can play around with the size and roughness of this grain to your liking, but it doesn't really matter. We just need to add some grain here. With that good to go, I'll click OK. And because we had a smart object, that Camera Raw adjustment is applied as a smart filter that we can go and edit later on by double clicking on the words Camera Raw filter. The next step is to add our threshold adjustment, which is an adjustment layer found within the adjustments panel. I'll scroll down and find threshold. Clicking on this, we have this monstrous looking effect, and essentially what Photoshop is doing is either adding black or white pixels based on the location of pixels on your histogram. So that might sound super confusing, but let's just make this really easy. If I move this little point all the way over this way, that means that everything within this histogram is going to be colored with white. If I go and move this over, anything that is still on the right side is going to be colored with white, but anything that is on the left side will now appear as black. So we can go and refine this until we have a good balance between the black and white within our photo, and it will vary depending on the exposure ranges in your image. So I'll set it to somewhere like this, so we can still see the eyes of the subject, but the photo still looks pretty grungy in this case. But to help diffuse this effect, we can add a little bit more grain, because essentially this grain is adding a transitioning value between the hard edge between black and white. It's adding more pixel information to our histogram so that we can have a little bit more of a soft transition with the threshold effect. If we didn't have any extra grain, just by disabling this smart filter here, you can see how different that threshold effect looks. It has a lot more hard edges and it doesn't have that soft grainy transition. So that is the use of grain here. But we can duplicate this grain a few different times so that we can create an even more soft transition within our threshold effect. Going to our smart filters and clicking on that Camera Raw filter, I can just hold Alt or Option while clicking on the Camera Raw filter, and I can now duplicate that above. So again, holding Alt or Option, clicking and dragging on the words Camera Raw filter, and then letting go, this is going to duplicate that filter and place it above. We can repeat this process multiple times, holding Alt or Option and dragging up, and this is just going to continue to add more grain into the photo. Now, after you've done this a few different times, you might not like the result, so we can go back to our threshold and refine the positioning of our adjustment like so. If you wanted your effect to have a little bit less of a blocky grain, you could go back into your Camera Raw filter and make some of your grain sizes a little bit smaller. I'll leave that up to you based on your own preferences, but one final thing that we can do is add a little bit of color into this image based on our original image layer. So rather than doing anything complicated, we can just use Blend If on our threshold adjustment layer by double clicking on the threshold adjustment, and within the blending options, we'll go to the underlying layer Blend If slider. Now, if I hold Alt or Option and click just outside of the shadow point, this will separate it to add a feather, and by moving this one point, essentially what we're doing is telling this threshold adjustment that we do not want it to be visible in the shadow areas of our underlying image. So I'll go and move this other point over as well to add a little bit more color into the photo, and you can play around with these sliders until you're happy with the coloring in your image. So I just want to add a slight bit of color like this, and I'll click OK. So now we get a bit more of that visor color back in and a little bit of the skin tones and hair color in the shadows. If you want to take this even further though, we can click on our image layer, hold Alt or Option and drag it to the top of our layer stack while holding Alt or Option. Let go when you see that little blue line, and then disabling the smart filters by clicking the eyeball icon. We can change this layer blending mode down here to color, and then reducing the opacity of this topmost layer, we can refine the colors and blend things in to the underlying layers. So now with these three effects applied, we've successfully added our threshold adjustment, we've transitioned those hard threshold edges with the help of noise, and then we've added some color throughout the entire photo based on the original image's color using the help of blend if, as well as a duplicated image layer with the color layer blending mode so that it can enhance some of the colors that we got using the blend if adjustment. But looking at our before and then after, this adds a super stylized grungy effect onto this image, and it's a really awesome way to stylize some of your graphics or designs relatively simply, especially with the help of smart filters. Now, if any of the steps that we covered here do feel a little bit confusing, do not worry, because I created a free lesson cheat sheet that you can download for free in the description below. It breaks down all of what we covered in this lesson in one nice little PDF for you to review so that you can review all of these steps in the future. And again, it is for free in the description below. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. And with that, I'll see you next time.